In 2023, I got around 40 books from 4 different book boxes, and I wanted to tell you about them. So I am subscribed to 3 book boxes and was a rep for another one for a large part of the year. I'm going to go over all of the picks that I got. I'll tell you what box they are from and if I have read it or not. The 4 book boxes are Book of the Month, Aardvark Book Club, Evernight, and Twisted Retreat. Twisted Retreat is the box that I was a rep for May through November. So all of those books were sent to me for free. So I'm going to go through and tell you what I got month by month. Evernight is a quarterly subscription and it did not start until July, so you won't see that until then, and then you won't see Twisted Retreat until May. So in January, from Book of the Month, I got Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the sequel to Ninth House. This is an urban fantasy with a little bit of horror. I did enjoy this one, but not nearly as much as Ninth House. And then from Aardvark, I got Desert Creatures by Kay Chronister. I have not read this one yet, but this is sci-fi horror. This is set in the wilderness, and it has an incredible cover. In February, I only got books from Book of the Month. I have read both of these. So the first one is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. This is one of my favorite thrillers I read this year. I give it 5 stars. It's a thriller that follows a woman who is going to a secluded writing retreat. They get snowed in, things start to go wrong. And then What Lies in the Woods, I gave 3.5 stars. This is another thriller, and we are following a character who as a child sent somebody to prison for attacking their friend, and they have hidden secrets that they're trying to keep. In March, from Aardvark, I got Big Swiss. I have since unhauled this, so I don't have the physical copy anymore. They didn't have a skip feature at this point, so I just got a book and I just am not interested in it, so I ended up selling it on Pango. And then from Book of the Month, I got Wayward by Amelia Hart. This is historical fiction with, I think, a little bit of gothic vibes. It is set in 2019, 1619, and 1942, and it is weaving together extraordinary women across 5 centuries. I have not yet read this one. And then the other one I got was Lone Women by Victor Laval. I have read this and I gave it 4 stars. This is historical horror about a woman who has a mysterious trunk that she takes with her when she leaves her family home and starts to build a life of her own. In April, I skipped Book of the Month and I got 2 books from Aardvark Book Club. A Brief History of Living Forever by Jaroslav Kalfar. This is sci-fi and I have not read it yet, but it is set in a near future America obsessed with digital consciousness and eternal life. Sounds very interesting. And then Death of a Bookseller by Alice Slater. I have read this one. I cannot remember what I rated it. I really enjoyed certain parts of it. We are following a bookseller who develops a dangerous obsession with someone else. This one deals a lot with the true crime industry. May is when I started to get books from Twisted Retreat. If we're being honest, I have not yet read any of them. My content schedule has been very busy and I just haven't been able to fit any of them in yet, but I am looking forward to reading all of these. So May was Sallow Bend by Alan Baxter. This is creepy carnival horror. From Aardvark, I got The Perfect Ones by Nicole Hackett. This is supposed to be like influencers on a trip. Really was domestic. I DNF'd this one, I don't know, maybe 100 pages in. And then from Book of the Month, I got Warrior Girl Unearthed by Angeline Bully. This is YA, and I honestly don't know what this is about, but I enjoyed Firekeeper's Daughter, so I got this one. I also got The Collective by Allison Galen. This is a revenge thriller. We are following a mother who is dealing with grief and trying to right the wrongs she feels has been done. And then the last one is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. This is another thriller following somebody who is being stalked by an author after giving them a 1-star review. June, Twisted Retreat. Once again, I have not read this. No Gods, No Monsters by Cadwell Turnbull. This, I believe, is a dark fantasy horror. This deals with police brutality and monsters, myths, and legends. Then from Aardvark, I got The Chateau by Jacqueline Goldis. This is following a few friends who go to one of their grandmother's chateau. She like mysteriously invites them, and then some murders start to happen. I have read this one. I can't remember what I gave it, but I thought it was fine. Ascension by Nicholas Binge. This is a sci-fi thriller. It involves climbing a mountain. It is mind-bending. I don't want to give too much away. This one is kind of unhinged, but I ended up really enjoying it. I think I gave it 4.5 stars. And then from Book of the Month, I have read She Started It by Sean Gilbert. This is a thriller following a group of friends who are invited to their estranged friend's bachelor party. People start to die. For July, this was the first month that Evernight, this is done by illumicrate, was available, and their pick was Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. This is following 2 characters dealing with an eclectic neighbor and a cursed film. This is horror, but it is slower paced. I would definitely call it more suspense than horror. And then from Aardvark Book Club, I got The Drowning Woman by Robin Harding. This is a mystery thriller following a woman who has pretty much lost everything, and she meets somebody who has everything but is in a really bad relationship, and everything that goes on between them. I didn't get a box from Twisted Retreat in July, and I skipped Book of the Month in July. August is where I went a little crazy. So starting off with Twisted Retreat, I was sent The Woodkin by Alexander James. Have not read this yet, but this is horror that is set in the woods. From Aardvark Book Club, I got Mr. Magic by Kirsten White. This is horror following this group of reunited child actors. Somebody mysterious has set up a podcast for them to be a part of, and they are trying to figure out what happened in the past. I ended up really loving this one. I also got How Can I Help You by Laura Sims. This is a thriller set in a library, and they become dangerously intertwined, and it is about human nature and the lore of artistic obsession. I have not yet read this. And then I got 5 books from Book of the Month. Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. This is historical horror with a lot of romance, and I have read this one. The one I have not read is Gone Tonight by Sarah Pekkanen. This is a thriller, and someone is on the run from their past, and they're protecting their daughter. Dark Corners by Megan Golden. This is the sequel to The Night Swim. Our main character is now doing her podcast on this like influencer convention. I thought this one was okay, but didn't live up to The Night Swim for me. Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is magical realism following a family. This one was just not my kind of book. I've loved Elizabeth Acevedo's YA stuff, but this one just didn't work for me. And I think I finished this one, but maybe I DNF'd it. I don't know. I really think I finished it. Just Another Missing Person by Gillian McAllister. This was such a disappointment for me after loving Wrong Place, Wrong Time. It's too much of like a police detective book, and it didn't work for me. After getting a lot of books in August, I did not get anything in September. The only books that I got were sent from Twisted Retreat, and that is 13 Suburban Monsters. This is a short story collection. And then The Camp by Nancy Bush, and I believe this is horror set at a camp. October Twisted Retreat was Ghost Tamer by Meredith R. Lyons. Death is one thing, it's what you do afterward that matters. And then October was the next month for Evernight. So I got Last to Leave the Room by Caitlin Starling. This is a sci-fi, a little bit of horror. There's doppelgangers, there's a basement that is sinking. This one feels very sci-fi. From Aardvark, I got Bridge by Lauren Bukes. This is a sci-fi thriller that is following a woman like going through different dimensions, realities, something, because this was her mom's research and now she's picking up where her mom left after she died. This is the February pick for the Pyramid Book Club. If you are interested in joining us, I will have information for that linked in the description. Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison. This is horror that follows a woman who is estranged from her family. She doesn't want to be part of their cult anymore. She's been banned, and she got a wedding invitation, so she decides to go back and she has to deal with everything again. And then in October, I skipped Book of the Month. November, I also skipped Book of the Month and Aardvark Book Club. There were ones that I was interested in, but trying to not buy as many books. But from Twisted Retreat, I was sent Linghun by Ai Jiang. This is a novella, and I believe it's kind of literary horror. And then Girl Among Crows by Brendan Veo. Beware the Brotherhood of the Raven. 2 boys have vanished, and it parallels disappearances from 30 years before. And then in December, I did not get a book from Twisted Retreat, and I skipped Book of the Month, but I got some from Aardvark. I got The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. This is historical horror following a boy who is sent to a reformatory, which is pretty much a prison for children. I have read this one. It's very heartbreaking. And then 2 that I have not read, The Other Half by Charlotte Vassell. This, I believe, is a pretty standard like murder mystery. Rich people, they're at a birthday party and someone dies. And then The Fiction Writer by Gillian Cantor. This, I believe, is a gothic book. It is inspired by Rebecca, and it's following a rising literary star down on her luck. Her book was a flop, and I'm assuming things go wrong. So those are the 39 books that I got from book boxes in 2023. 8 of those were kindly sent to me by Twisted Retreat, and that is the only one that is like a full box. You get other goodies and everything. Well, you can get a version that is just the book. And then I am a member of Book of the Month, Aardvark Book Club, and Evernight. I'll have links to all 4 of these in the description if you are interested in checking any out. I really like all of them. I think they're good quality. good deals, and I've read some really great books from these boxes. I'd love to know in the comments if you are subscribed to any book box. Let me know what your favorites are. I'm always interested in checking out more. If you've made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji to say you were here, you can leave me a sheep for black sheep. This just happens to be the one that was closest to me. Also, just a reminder, we are reading Bridge for the Pyramid Book Club in February if you want to join us. Let me know your favorite book box, your favorite book you've gotten from a book box. I'm pretty happy with the amount of books that I have read that I got this year from boxes. I think last year it was not this good. I will be getting more books from subscription boxes next year, so you will see another one of these in the future. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming content. I have tons of end of year videos coming. If you're looking to find me in other places on the internet, everything is linked in the description, including my Bookstagram, my Storygraph, and my Patreon. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!